First Take, thank you for being with us. Look alive, Stephen A., all right? It's Thursday.
I'm very much alive.
You better.
Good morning, Molly.
Wake your behind up on the West Coast,
right.
all right?
Well,
there we
here.
go. I know. And you're ready. Lights on, you're ready. As always, my guy, Brian Windhorst, Windy. We're going to make some memes today, Molly. Or what, big time? We better.
You
and
know
I got
it.
Peter Rosenberg.
Hold it, Molly.
NYC finest.
Peter, is something going on, or you are running for office? You look like a chief of staff. Peter. You all right? I'm just checking.
Wait,
Stephen
you saying
A.
I look like I'm
chiefs of staff?
I look like I'm going to court today, Stephen A.? Is that what I look like?
You know what I just think is funny, Stephen A.? Your mind just goes right to chief of staff. So interesting.
Oh, that is. Maybe you're chief of staff, Stephen A.
I was thinking more like you look like a phenomenal producer. But, I mean, who knows? I don't want to read into things. Guys, are we talking playoffs or what? The Dallas Mavericks might not be winning press conferences as of late, but they are staying alive in the play-in. The Mavs defeated the Sacramento Kings on Wednesday night, 120-106, anchored by a combined 50 points from Anthony Davis and Klay Thompson. Klay, how you feeling after that vintage performance?
Well, this was a great test for us. I mean, Sacramento's crowd is one of the best in the league, and it was electric in here to start the night. And this is what's going to prepare us to come when we go to Memphis. We know how talented that group is, and they have a great home court. And when you combine our young athletes with the veterans we have, we can hopefully continue this season and give it everything we have, because we want to give the city of Dallas something to be proud of, at least, especially with their energy and effort. And we're going to go to Memphis and lay it all out there, and that's all we can ask. And it did feel good to exercise those demons in here, man.
All right, fellas, the 8th seed in the West comes down to Dallas or Memphis. Stephen A., which one presents the tougher matchup for OKC?
For me personally, I think it would be Dallas. I really, really do, because I think you're thinking about the size. When you think about OKC now, particularly with Chet Holmgren and Hartenstein, and on your front court, you got to have some size. And that's not to say Memphis doesn't have it in a guy like Jaren Jackson Jr. We get all of that. But when I look at Lively out there with an Anthony Davis who can give you 28-12. Anthony Davis didn't have a great game yesterday. Still finished with 27. Klay Thompson, the sniper that he was last night, that's the Klay Thompson we know and love. That brother hit all 5 shots in the second quarter. 4 of them from three-point range. I mean, he shot 73% from three-point range for the game. The man, this is what he does. He's one of the greatest shooters in the history of basketball, okay? And a 4-time champion. These moments are not something that surprises you. So if you can shoot the basketball and you have size to be formidable on the defensive line in terms of your front court, with a guy like Anthony Davis who can give it to you, with Lively and Gafford who can give you a little something, with P.J. Washington who can give you a little something, and Klay shooting the ball like that, I don't think we can look at Memphis as being a team that's better suited to go up against what we know OKC brings to the table. You got to have it all. And Dallas, if they resemble what they looked like last night, is one of those teams.
Well, there was a time where the Mavericks were a very difficult opponent for the Thunder. If you may remember,
yes,
they beat them in the playoffs last year. Luka was amazing in that series, was what really started their run towards the finals. This year, by the way, the first 3 times they played, the Mavericks beat the Thunder twice.
Yes.
That was back when nobody could touch the Thunder at all.
That's right.
And by the way, in both those wins, Luka didn't play. Kyrie played very well in those games. So even after Luka, you could make an argument that maybe this would be a problematic setup for the Thunder. But in the wake of the Kyrie injury, they can't challenge him. I do think this was a wonderful night for Klay Thompson, because can you imagine what Klay has gone through this year? He goes through his own departure. He selects Dallas to play with Luka, right? He selects Dallas to play with Luka, and in the midseason they're like, yeah, we're going a whole other direction. He's like, what? What just happened? So I was glad he had that night, and just a reminder to everybody that he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yes, he is.
But it's going to be Memphis as the tougher matchup. I will say this: Memphis has an issue with fouling. It's one of their, bugaboos. One of the things they have issues with, specifically Jaren Jackson Jr. And we saw that in the play-in game over the weekend in San Francisco.
Well,
Butler and Steph, 31 free throws, and we know Shea leads the league in getting to the line. Shea got to the line over 10 times a game against the Grizzlies this year, so that's going to be a challenge for the Grizzlies.
Real quick, Peter and Brian. Dallas Mavericks last night, 24 of 26 from the free throw line, 92%. And, oh, by the way, it wasn't just Klay shooting the basketball. You saw his movement. I mean, this does not look like some old dude that's on his last legs. It can get interesting.
Well, to me, you guys just did a great job breaking down the basketball of it all, and I think you can make different arguments about who presents the better matchup. To me, it's about what mental version we get of the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks are a week removed from Luka Doncic being celebrated in Dallas like he's the only player that even matters there. This is an ownership group that is a complete disaster. We are still reeling from the craziest trade, Windy, I'm sure you'd agree, that we've seen in the NBA in a very long time. If the Dallas Mavericks play like they have something to prove, you know, think the Cleveland Indians in the movie Major League. If they want to prove something to ownership that they feel disrespected by the moves that have been made, as Stephen A. pointed out, this is a veteran team. This Anthony Davis and Klay Thompson, this is a team that's going to go for it. To me, it's, do they get to the playoffs and think, all right, we put up a good showing, let's end this season without Kyrie, without Luka, or do they try to show up ownership?
Stephen A., to that point, what would a playoff appearance mean for Nico Harrison?
Well, I don't think it's about a playoff appearance. I don't know if they'll ever forgive Nico. I think nothing short of a champion Nico. But the actual players themselves, and Peter alluded to it, there's a big-time opportunity here for the Dallas Mavericks. So Kyrie is out. He's gone for the year, okay? They won with him on the basketball court on 2 occasions against OKC. OKC was the #1 seed last year, then and the #1 seed this year. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, my vote for league MVP. This brother's a showstopper. He's something spectacular. You acquire Caruso and Hartenstein in the offseason, okay? Jalen Williams has elevated his level of play. You see the parts around him. Lou Dort is a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year as far as I'm concerned. He's definitely on the All-NBA defensive team, right? You look at these kind of things going on, and Oklahoma City is supposed to be the creme de la creme. You're talking about Luka and LeBron possibly knocking him off. We can't ignore James Harden and Kawhi Leonard, but we summarily dismissed Dallas. If Dallas comes out there and Anthony Davis and P.J. Washington with a Lively, with a Gafford, with a Klay Thompson, they come out there and they say, wait a minute, y'all must have forgot. We understand that Kyrie is an incredibly important piece to all of this. But you beat Memphis, and then you go against OKC. And let's just say, for the sake of argument, you push it 7 games. Even if you lose the series, now the city goes like this. Wait till Kyrie gets back with that bunch. Maybe there was something going on here that we needed to pay attention to. Maybe we really do have the pieces, if we're all healthy, to really, really make that kind of noise. And that might assuage some concerns. The venom towards Nico is going to be the way it is because Luka was beloved and only a championship would derail that. But everybody else, including Jason Kidd and the players, you got an opportunity here to quell all of that noise if you show up and you